Hey y'all, welcome to Down Home Bites with Darlene. So it's Sunday afternoon, about that time to start trying to figure out what to have for lunch/dinner. Probably by the time I get through, it'll be closer to dinner. But anyway, I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day, and he was asking me if I'd ever made anything that had like a cream sauce made with lemon, garlic, ginger, heavy cream, things of that nature. And I have a recipe similar, but not quite that. So I told him that I would work on it. So I sat down a few days ago and started doing a little bit of research and come up with a recipe that we're going to try today. So I'm going to call it lemon, garlic, ginger chicken. And it should be like a one-pan dish. So today we're just going to have that and have some yeast rolls. And no, I didn't make the yeast rolls today. Took the easy route and bought the frozen ones, but they're good too. So, but if you wanted to have a salad or something like that alongside with this to make the meal bigger, you know, it would go fine with it. But we're just going to do this. So let me get this camera switched around so you can see what we're doing, and we will learn together. So stay tuned, come back to me. Okay, so hopefully this pan will be big enough. You do want to spray it with cooking spray, of course. And the first thing you're going to do is take 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And but actually I only use 3 because the breasts look like they belonged on 2 chickens instead of 1. So what you do is we're going to salt and pepper this to taste. So I've already, of course, washed my hands since the handling of the chicken. And I'm using the restaurant style black pepper. It has such a good flavor to it. It's just so much better. So I'm just going to kind of toss this a little bit. I can always, you know, add more when it gets in the pan. So you want to put your skillet on medium-high. And you're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I've already got everything measured out, and I have learned from not just doing these cooking videos, but just my everyday life, if I will get everything ready beforehand, it doesn't take near as long for me to get done. So we're going to wait for that to heat up just a little bit, and we'll put this chicken in there. And you want to get it at least almost done, if not done all the way. I think I would feel better if most of it was done. So once this gets heated up a little bit, then we'll get that started. Okay, I've got it, the skillet sizzling. So let's get this chicken in there. I just cut mine up in pieces. You can also, if you want to, leave it in whole breast. It will take longer to cook, so that's the reason why I like to do it this way. Too, I just like when I'm eating it, I'm not having to constantly, you know, use a knife and all that stuff. So we'll get this cooked up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. There we go. Okay. I'm going to leave it nearby so that if I need to add some, I've got it. So while this is cooking, I think I've probably told you guys about my salt box, but I absolutely love this thing. And I put salt, pepper, Himalayan salt, and kosher salt in here. And it just stays sitting out all the time. And so you can just, you know, reach in there and cook with it. You know, you do it with your fingers or a teaspoon or whatever it is that you need. But I absolutely love it. Makes me feel kind of professional, which I am not. I am so far from that. But anyway, so let's I'm gonna cook on this, and when it gets almost done, then we'll continue. Okay, as you can see, I have switched pans on you. I can tell by looking at that one, it's just not gonna be big enough. So the chicken is still in here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn the stove down to medium. And you want to take this chicken out and set it aside. I've just got a plate here I'm going to put it on for the time being. So we'll get all that out. Okay, we got all the chicken moved over, and whatever little bits you got left in your pan, leave it on there. Of course, it's on medium. So now what we want to do is add our garlic. It's supposed to be 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. And I thought I had that, but it was actually shallots. So I'm going to be using garlic powder instead. And garlic powder is 3/4 of a teaspoon for 3 cloves. So we'll put 1, 2, and 3 in there. And then you want to put a teaspoon of ginger paste. Okay. So what we're going to do is kind of just let that stir around for about, probably 30 seconds to a minute, just so it starts getting fragrant. And the reason we do it now is so that it will not break the sauce, because when we add lemon in there, that lemon can tend to curdle milk or heavy cream. Whew. So I think that is fragrant enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour in a 1/2 cup of chicken broth. Okay. And let's get that good and mixed up there. You want to make sure and scrape all those little brown bits, as they call them, down there. Okay. Now, we're going to stir in the heavy cream, and that is a cup of heavy cream. So put that in there. Get that mixed up a little bit. And we're going to bring this to kind of a gentle simmer, because you don't want to scald it or anything like that. Get that done. Okay. When it starts simmering, we'll go to the next step. Okay, so it is simmering a little bit, as you can see. So now we're supposed to add a 1/2 cup of Parmesan. But the bag is 6 ounces, so I'm gonna put a little over half of the bag. Yeah. This is what's gonna thicken up that sauce some. And part of this, like I said, I've never made this before as far as this type. Makes something very similar, but you definitely want to kind of do it gently and make sure that cheese melts, thickens up that sauce a little bit. And then we just keep stirring this until it becomes smooth. That's looking good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add the zest of 1 lemon. And then the juice of 1 lemon You don't want to pour the whole thing in there because this is something that is going to have, you're going to have to do it by taste. If you like the way it is, then, you know, if what you put in there to begin with, that's fine. If you want it a little bit brighter, you can add more. So I'm just going to add a little bit right now. And I keep disposable spoons around all the time for this kind of very thing. So let's see here. It may need just a little bit, a tad more, but I don't think I need much. So I think that will get it right there. But I will try it again and see, just to make sure. I can tell I'm going to like this dish. Okay. Perfect. You can taste the lemon, but it's not like overly strong. But of course, like I said, if you want it to be, add it in there. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. I mean, just a little dash of salt. I think that's all it needed, is that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook the noodles right in this sauce. So we want to add like a half a cup to a cup of hot water. First I'm going to do just about a half cup. Okay, is that a half? Yeah, maybe a little bit more. There we go. And it calls for 8 ounces of egg noodles. So this size I have is 16 ounces. So I'm just going to put about half of it in there. We want to cook the noodles in the sauce so that it absorbs all that flavor. Just makes it a lot better. Egg noodles do not take very long to cook. So I'm going to let them mellow out a little bit and get to cooking, and then we'll be right back to finish this dish up. Okay, so what I did was, after I got my noodles in there and everything, I could see that coffee was going to need a little bit more heavy cream and a little bit more Parmesan. So I put probably another half a cup of heavy cream in it, and I put the rest of that bag of Parmesan in there. So now we're going to turn it down to like a medium-low for a minute, and we're going to add this chicken back in there. Give that a whirl so everything can kind of meld together here. Ooh, this looks so good. This is something I know I'm going to really enjoy. I probably already said that, but I'll say it again. I think I am. You let this cook now about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so I can see it's pretty thick. So I'm going to add just a little bit more heavy cream. Not a lot, just a dab. There we go. That'll heat up in no time. Okay guys, our dish is done. I've left it on low while I just put the rolls in the oven, and I will just go through and just stir it up a little bit. But you can always, I can see that this dish is going to be something that you're going to have to do by taste and what your preference is, which is fine. You know, at least this gives you a base for what you're doing. Then, so the only thing I would remind you of is if you do add extra ginger paste and extra garlic powder, I would do that at the time that you're doing the original amount, not after the cream is in there, because it can break the cream. And then like I did later on, I could see that, you know, I wanted it to be a little bit more sauce and a little bit thicker. So I added a little bit more whipping cream and a little bit more Parmesan cheese. And if you have a really pretty dish to put this in, and then maybe just sprinkle shaved Parmesan on the top of it, would be great. We, unless I'm having company, we typically eat it right out of the pan, you know. We just dip it out of the pan, not eat it out of the pan. But anyway, I want to remind you of what the ingredients are. And so you'll need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 to 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You can either use them whole, or you can cut them in half, or you can cut them in pieces like I did. You'll need salt and pepper, of course. You need 2 to 3 garlic cloves minced, or 3/4 a teaspoon of garlic powder, which is what I used. Half a cup of chicken broth, a cup of heavy cream, unless you add more to it, a half a cup of Parmesan grated, and again, unless you add more to that, a teaspoon of lemon zest. A teaspoon of lemon zest is basically 1 lemon zested, and 2 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice, which is the juice of 1 lemon. But again, that is that you add a little at a time to see how you like it and how bright you want it. Then 8 ounces of egg noodles and the teaspoon of ginger paste. And really that is all you have to have for this. So brother-in-law, I hope you try this, and I hope when you do, you enjoy it. I think we are really going to like this, and it will become a regular on our dinner menu. So I am going to leave at this moment and try to take the rest of my day off and just relax. Maybe watch a little TV, or maybe even take a nap. Doubtful, but maybe. Because it seems like every time I go in the kitchen, my dog, oh, I'm sorry, Darby. I did not mean to call you a dog. The other member of our family, Darby, she likes to take over the couch and my pillows and everything else so she can take a nap. Well, and then when I go in there to sit down, she looks at me like, what are you doing? Get your own space, you know? Our furry babies, oh, they're so special. And she is a diva, but we wouldn't have her any other way. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today with Down Home Bites with Darlene. If you ever have any questions or suggestions of something you would like for me to try, I would love to try it. I'm not afraid to try things. So please, yeah, just send me a message, but be sure and like and follow and share and everything. And I did send out a message on Facebook and Instagram. Right now, I am not going to be posting on Instagram for a while. I'm having issues with my original video staying at its original screen, you know, height, width, the whole thing. When it's on Instagram, it comes in really close, and I have Googled it and different things just to see if there's something I can do, and I can't seem to find the solution. So instead of, you know, putting it on there, it still will be on my Down Home with Darlene Bites Facebook page, and it's also on YouTube on the same thing. So again, thanks for joining me, and y'all have a wonderful day. I always think of something to add by the time I get done. If you have leftovers, this is supposed to serve 4 people, and I could see where it would. But since there's only 2 of us, if you happen to have leftovers and you want to heat it up the next day, you're going to find that the sauce is going to be probably pasty and sticky. Just add some more heavy cream to it and heat it up, put it back in the pot and heat it back up to to be able to, get it back to the consistency it's supposed to be. Anytime you use heavy cream and especially cheeses with it, that's what happens. But that's okay. Just add you some more cream, add you some more Parmesan, whatever you want to do. So I wanted to share that with you just in case, because I know around here we have leftovers quite often. So I enjoy every kind of suggestion that I can get. So again, thanks guys, and y'all have a good day. Okay, I am ready to eat. So I'm gonna put me a little bit of shaved Parmesan on top of this, like it doesn't already have enough cheese to begin with. Got a little roll with my butter. Got me a glass of iced tea with some lemon wedges in it. If you're a wine drinker, I'm sure it would taste good with that too. So I'm gonna get to eating, y'all. And now it's time for dessert.